Hello, this is Joy News Desk. I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. We're live on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. Coming up, leaders are meeting to set the agenda as Parliament resumes. But 1 year after chaos in the Appointments Committee that left state property destroyed, not a single MP has been held to account.
No doubt, Parliament's credibility has been seriously undermined. Consequently, the following members are suspended.
Also, fires in some senior high schools in the north raising urgent concerns about student safety. We get the latest on Tolon Senior High School.
Those who are severely affected will be given some form of external exit so that they can go home and then prepare a bit.
Also, Ghana's cocoa sector faces looming production crisis as farmers contemplate smuggling cocoa beans and selling off large tracts of lands to illegal miners over delayed payments of their arrears.
Times are hard now. We used the initial payment to settle our labors. Because I have no money, I told my son to stay home from school.
Details as agriculture economists suggest government must not sacrifice welfare of the cocoa farmers as Cocoa Board rethinks its financing strategy after scrapping syndicated loan program.
See, wanting to get the most from the international market is good, but I think that it doesn't have to be done by sacrificing the welfare of the farmer.
We have these plus some business updates on our desk. Do stay for details. Well, we start from Parliament, and as the House prepares to reconvene later this afternoon after the Christmas recess, leaders from both sides of the House are meeting this morning to deliberate on key business expected to dominate proceedings. But looming large over the reopening is the unresolved controversy surrounding the destruction of state property by members of the Appointments Committee during a chaotic sitting a year ago. Despite the incident unfolding in full public view with tables, microphones and other parliamentary equipment vandalized, questions persist over the fate of the investigative report as not a single MP has been sanctioned 12 months on, raising fresh concerns about accountability, institutional discipline and Parliament's commitment to upholding the very standards it enforces on others. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kpandai takes us back to that day in the following report.
What began as a routine sitting of Parliament's Appointment Committee quickly degenerated into one of the most disgraceful episodes in the history of the House. It was a simple disagreement over how many ministerial nominees were to be vetted.
The candidate nominees that we didn't agree, we have done it. Kofi Adams was not part of the arrangement. We compromised and did it. We agreed on 4, we have done 5. They should understand. What is this? Why? Look, some of them, we spend less than 30 minutes on them. We can't do proper vetting with this short time. They should understand this. Otherwise, it will not happen. It will not happen.
But instead of resolving the matter through dialogue, the MPs decided to trade blows instead. For those of you whose memory of the incident may be hazy, this is a reminder of a bit of what transpired.
Well, it's chaos. The table have been turned. It's chaos. It's chaos. It's chaos. It's chaos. The table have turned. More microphones are falling to the ground and things have been destroyed. The table has broken. The table has been broken with all that we are seeing here. It is obvious that this vetting may not happen. It is obvious that this vetting may not happen with all that is happening with public property being destroyed.
The following day, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin responded forcefully. He announced stiff sanctions. 4 MPs identified as having played a role in the chaos were suspended.
Let there be no doubt, Parliament's credibility has been seriously undermined. Consequently, the following members are suspended from the sittings of Parliament for 2 weeks. They are 1 and 2, the 2 chief whips, in the persons of Mr. Roxon Nelson Eche, Kwame Dafiamapo, and Mr. Frank Ano Dompre. 3, Mr. Alasan Suleimana Tampuli. And 4, Mr. Jerry Ahmed Shaib.
The minority, however, fiercely opposed the Speaker's decision. In a dramatic turn of events, the Speaker later reversed the suspensions, and it followed appeals from both the minority and majority leaders.
Today, I, on behalf of my caucus, would want to assure the public that such an action will not be seen in the public space again. I also, on behalf of my side, appeal to you to reconsider your decision and lift the suspensions so that our colleagues can join us, whilst the other measures that you are putting in place so that long term we can ensure the orderly conduct of business in this House is achieved.
So I am satisfied with not just the statement, but also their conduct. And I will proceed to lift the suspension of the 4 members of Parliament that I considered were involved in disorderly conduct.
A special committee was swiftly constituted to investigate the disturbances. Witnesses were invited, testimonies were taken, and a report was compiled. But that report has never been made public. 1 year later, it has still not been laid before the House, let alone debated the decision taken. And while that report gathers dust on the shelves somewhere in Parliament, MPs captured on live television vandalizing public property have walked free. There have been no prosecutions, no surcharges, no restitution, simply no accountability. This despite the Speaker's public vow to crack the whip. 1 year on, Parliament appears to have collectively moved on. The incident appears to have faded from institutional memory. And in Parliament, where every disagreement now generates chaos, some fear even worse scenes may yet unfold. MPs now safe in the knowledge that no one will ever be held responsible for any misconduct. For Joy News, Kweku Asante.
Well, joining us is James Evajay, who is in Parliament for us. James, so what have the leaders been deliberating on?
Well, Mami, so the sitting itself, we are told is supposed to be at noon, but between this morning, early morning, and 12 noon, a number of things are supposed to happen. The leadership of the House is supposed to have their conclave and decide on the big agenda for this particular second sitting, as well as the order paper for the entire week, the business of the entire week. And so our understanding is that this morning, the leadership of Parliament is engaging in that as we speak. Any moment from now, we'll have the usual tradition of having an encounter with the leadership of Parliament, where they would first give us their New Year message from both sides of the House. We'll be giving the media, the Parliamentary press corps, the New Year message, also brief us on a few things that we should be expecting in the course of this particular sitting, as far as both the minority and the majority is concerned. From there, when the House moves into sitting properly, then we'll hear about the critical informations or messages from both the President as well as the Speaker of Parliament to the entire country and then we'll delve into the activities of today. And so as we speak early this morning, the leadership is in conclave, and then from there, they will have an encounter with the media before the day gets into action proper, Mamiesi.
Well, James, also keys the return of the Kpandai MP, Matthew Nyindam. Has he, gone through with all the processes to return to Parliament? What do we know?
Our understanding is that Matthew Nyindam is expected to be in the House for the first time in 2 long months after his seat was declared vacant. In fact, we are expected to also hear some message from the Speaker on that, the formal decision of Parliament on his return. But what we are learning this morning is that Matthew Nyindam himself will be on the floor of Parliament, and we are looking keenly towards that and what reaction the majority will be giving to that. We heard on the airwaves earlier after this court decision that the NDC will be taking up a review in court. That has not been filed yet. We are expecting the entire ruling of the Supreme Court on the 6th of February, which would inform their decision to go for a review or not. But as far as Matthew Nyindam, MP for Kpandai, is concerned, he's expected to be in the House today and will be greeted with all of the reaction, which we'll keep tap on and bring to you and our listeners in the course of the day. So yes, he's expected to be on the floor today.
But do we know the bills or what they'll be considering on the floor later this afternoon?
Largely on the first day of resumption, it is usually the communications of what the President has for Parliament and what the Speaker also has for the House. The other paper for the week is not out yet, and so we cannot tell what the agenda of government is to prosecute through the majority. We already know that the minority have stated clearly that this time around, they will not allow what they describe as rushed bill through Parliament on the certificate of urgency. And so as we speak, we do not know what the agenda would be until the other paper comes out. But what is key on the agenda is the Speaker's message and what will be contained in there. We've been big this morning on the Bejra Committee's report. We do not know if the Speaker would take the opportunity to make some pronouncement on that, or that report will be coming onto the floor in the early hours of this week, or what the decision will be. And so we are all waiting keenly on what will be contained in that other paper as we move into the day. But in the early hours of Parliament, when they resume, all preparations will be towards the President's State of the Nation's address, which we expect somewhere in the middle or later part of this February. And so those are the key things Parliament will be preparing for. But we are all looking forward to what will be on that other paper as business for prosecution today and the rest of the week. Mamiesi.
James Aveji is in Parliament with us to give us, the updates as Parliament resumes later this afternoon. Well, Nane J. Bafwewa is Vice Chair, Subsidiary Legislation, and member of the Constitutional Committee, and joins us via Zoom. Grateful for your time on our desk. It's been a year, and after that chaos that happened, that day, not a single MP has been sanctioned. Why?
Good morning, Mami. Hope you are good.
I'm well.
From the proceedings you captured, it's obvious. It's obvious there was some consequences. And after deliberation by leadership, the Speaker decided to suspend whatever punishment he had decided to mete out. And so whatever punishment he had decided to mete out. So to say that there has been no consequence may look like we have not considered subsequent actions by the Speaker and what followed.
What was the punishment, if I may ask? What sanctions were meted out?
The Speaker said he had suspended the two chief whips, if you recall.
Which was later revised, which was later reversed anyway.
But you know that whenever a person is punished and there is plea in there's plea in mitigation, or there's plea for same to be reconsidered, right? The person that imposed the sanctions also has the power to reconsider the sanctions and then, admonish those persons not to repeat them. And so it wasn't out of place that that in fact happened.
Well, property was destroyed or vandalized, as we're seeing on the screen. Who took care of that cost? Was it Parliament or the members that contributed to destroying that property?
That I'm not aware of. The Speaker may have taken all sort of things into account before arriving at the decision he made. Perhaps the Parliamentary Affairs Committee may be better placed to speak to some of these things. But in terms of whether or not the persons involved or there were some ramifications post that unfortunate incident, the record will show that in no doubt there was some sanction, except to say that that sanction some of us thought had not or was not in compliance with the due process of law.
And that report, I know, was handed over to the Speaker. Has that report not been made public, or is that in the prerogative of the Speaker?
It's in the prerogative of the Speaker.
All right. Well, there's also the concern that if members of Parliament should behave like this, and I don't know, you say that because of the suspension, those who perpetrated that, destruction or disruption were suspended, and that should serve as some form of sanction. But others are asking that if members of Parliament are not held to account, how then do they also hold persons outside Parliament to account or demand accountability when it refuses to actually police itself?
I doubt if members of Parliament have not held themselves into account on this occasion. From the video you showed, the rendition by the Speaker, it was obvious that there was some demand for accountability. It was obvious. And so if there has been demand for accountability, to say that members of Parliament did not hold themselves to account will be clearly contrary to the facts on the ground.
Well, we do not know what the report says. We also haven't heard that they have paid for the property that has been destroyed. Just apologies on the floor of Parliament, but we're hoping that more would be done. Or you don't believe so?
For instance, you say that for properties that were destroyed. As we speak, do you have record of the properties that were destroyed, or do you have record of property being destroyed?
The tables that they're turning, we understand on that day, I recollect that some of their legs were broken, microphones were destroyed as well. Some of them hit the ground and were not working. And as at that time, at least, those were the ones.
I believe that in the wisdom of the Speaker, at the appropriate time, he would deal with these issues.
All right. Well, let's come to the business of the House. What are we looking forward to, happening today, you resuming from recess?
We look forward to holding government to account. We look forward to making sure that some of the things government had promised the people of Ghana, he will execute them. So far, there's some stability in terms of the exchange rate. And so sometimes we forget about some of the promises that government had made. Our water bodies are still reeling under the pressures of Galamsey. The effect of it has been very dangerous to the health of the people of this country. The economic effect of it very, very huge. And so we are going to hold government to account in respect of its fight against galamsey. We intend to hold government into account in terms of why the cost of electricity is so high, the cost of water is so high, even though the exchange rate and the prices of fuel have come down. These are two major components in the pricing of electricity.
Right.
These are the two major components in the pricing of water. They have all fallen, and everybody knows that the prices are coming down. And so the question is, why the disconnect? We are going to hold government to account because these are very important. These are very important cost components for doing business, very important cost components for households. And so we have to hold them, we have to find a solution to it, that households should also benefit from the falling fuel prices, from the falling dollar. We are also going to hold government to account in terms of the transportation issues that we are having in this country. We don't understand. Hello?
I'm listening.
Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. I think that the feed there to Nanaje Bafwewa is frozen, but we'll still try and get him back to get more on Parliament. Do I have Nanaje on the line?
I'm here.
Great to have you back. So you are making a point before the line froze.
We also look forward to the commitment of the government to ensuring that the teeming Ghanaian youth get employment. This session, the president is likely to present the State of the Nation's address. That will be his second. In his first session address to Parliament, he mentioned that we have unemployment of 2 million. We have about 2 million Ghanaians who are unemployed. Don't forget, not long before that statement was delivered in Parliament, the Chief of Staff had signed a memo directing state agencies to sack some Ghanaian youth from their workplaces. These are Ghanaian youth, they are not foreigners, born-bred Ghanaians from all over Ghana with families. But their jobs were terminated by the Chief of Staff. We look forward to the President addressing us, for instance, this year, to tell us how much employment he has created in the last 1 year, how he has reduced, the extent to which he has reduced unemployment in Ghana. We are looking for real figures. We are not looking for a situation where, because there has been change of government, somebody has been recruited, by reason of being a member of the ruling party in one state agency or the other. We are looking for real sectors, employment in the real sectors of the economy. So basically, we are looking forward to these are some of the things we are looking forward to.
All right, and how are you welcoming back Matthew Nyindam following the ruling of the Supreme Court and reinstating him as MP for Kpandai?
Yeah, it's a great occasion for us. It's victory for law and, for fairness, victory for justice. If you recall, when the Speaker instructed the Clerk of Parliament to issue that letter, we all took the position that that conduct was unconstitutional. Right? But they were not prepared to listen. Eventually, justice and fairness has prevailed. And so we are going to welcome him. He's our brother. We've missed him in the House. He's a senior colleague in the House. And so we look forward to meeting him. In fact, we look forward, even as a party, to celebrate the great milestone of a successful Congress, one of the most competitive Congress one of the most competitive presidential primaries in the history of this country. We are going to pat ourselves at the back and say well done to ourselves. And so it's going to be a great meeting of our colleagues. Right. Perhaps we'll have a few advice for our friends on the other side on how to ensure that when they are faced with similar competition in the future, it will not degenerate into something else.
All right. Grateful for your time this morning on our decks, Honorable Bafwewa. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Mami.
Grateful. Now, away from that, a roaring pattern is emerging in the north, where a spate of fires in senior high schools is raising serious questions about student safety. From Nobisco to Tolon Senior High School, repeated fire outbreaks are destroying dormitories, learning materials, and personal belongings and disrupting academic work. Almost 400 students of Tolon Senior High School have been displaced after a fire yesterday. Martina Bugri reports.
There have been two separate fires affecting two schools, the Tolong Senior High School Girls Dormitory and the Northern School of Business Girls Dormitory in the space of 1 week. These fires have destroyed properties including books, mattresses, uniforms, among others. This morning's fire at the Tolong Senior High School affected 3 rooms. Addressing the media, the Northern Regional Minister, Adolf John Ali, said those who are badly affected have been given a 1-week external exit, while school authorities rallying around to find space for their return.
The Director of Education, District Director, and then the Headmaster have decided that we'll do a similar thing here. Those who are severely affected will be given some form of external exit so that they can go home and then prepare a bit and then come back within 1 week. And I'm sure within this 1 week period, the headmaster and his able lieutenants around him would have found some temporary way of handling them when they come back.
The Northern Regional Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Fire Service, Assistant Divisional Officer Grade 1, Baba Hudu, said the combustible materials in the room intensified the heat, reason for the serious damage that occurred.
It will be realized, it will be noticed that due to the number of students in the dormitory, the combustible material contained in these rooms are massive. They are many, stemming from chop boxes, mattresses, books, food, and other personal belongings. Intensify the heat content of the fire, and that is the reason why we saw the damages like that. Again, the dormitory contains 10 rooms and then 10 rooms opposite. So in all, we have 20 dormitories in this compound. However, the other side is where the fire started, and we were able to stop the fire in the 3rd room.
Deputy Director of the GET Fund Administration, Alhassan Dandawa, also saw at Tolong to sympathize with the students. This is what he had to say.
When you look at what happened in Nobisco and then Tolong, all has to do with girls' dormitory, not boys' dormitory. So I want to believe that there's a problem somewhere. If we don't fix the problem, trust me, we'll continue to experience.
Well, let's get the very latest from my colleague Martina Bugri. Martina, so what's the latest? What's the extent of damage as we speak?
So now the latest is that another fire at the Pong Tamale Senior High School, and this happened last night. The washroom facilities, we are told, was gutted, and then some students have stored their belongings in portions of the washroom that was destroyed. But fortunately, the fire service was in early. They were able to stop it from spreading to the other end of the facility. 2 students were collapsed, were sent to the Saviligu Hospital. I checked this morning. I was told they were still there, but probably they'll be discharged later this morning. Now, Mamiesi, what is familiar with all these schools are that they have all experienced fire before. In 2018, Pongtamale Senior High School, portions of the girls' dormitory was engulfed in fire. And so when you go to the school, some of the girls are living in portion that was not destroyed in that first fire. Now, when you come to Northern School of Business, they also had a disaster last year. That was around March, but that one was a rainstorm that destroyed the entire facility. And then just when it was reconstructed, there was fire on the 28th of January. Now, when you go to Tolong Senior High School in 2022, they also had a fire outbreak that destroyed their girls' dormitory. And then yesterday, there was another fire that destroyed the same girls' dormitory. And so when you look at these schools, they have had one disaster or the other. Two have been fire outbreaks, and then one a rainstorm.
Tina, exactly what is causing these fires? Are they related, or there's a specific, establishment of the cause by the Ghana Fire Service?
Now, all these fires that have occurred, the fire service are yet to disclose the cause of the fire. They have said that they are doing investigations, and when it is completed, we would have information on what caused these fires. But if you notice, the one that happened in 2022 in Tolong, I'm sure that should have been ready by now. Fortunately, the public relations officer of the fire service is part of this Zoom this morning, and probably will give highlights on where they have reached in terms of investigations in the previous fires.
And do we know what's going to happen to the destroyed dormitories property?
So for the Pongtamale Senior High School, fortunately, it didn't affect the dormitories, and so they can continue their activities. Now in Nobisco, the MP for Tamale South, who is the education minister, and the MP for Tamale North were in Nobisco. That was on over the weekend, and they all promised some form of support to these schools so that the students can be comfortable and learn. And there's a defect building in the school there. The MP for Tamale North says he would reconsider they working on it so that the students can have a place to sleep. The MP for Tamale South said Get Fund will be constructing a hostel facility for the girls, and so provisions are being made, but as to how soon it will come, that is another issue. But the two MPs have all assured that it would be a quick process so that the students can be able to have a good place to sleep and study. Now for Tolong, it has just happened, and we are told that most of the students were going to be relocated to join other colleagues whilst they rally around to see how they can make provisions for about 160-something students who have been asked to go home.
Right. Martina, thank you so much for that update from the Northern region.